All right, so we are back for part two of this week's episode of the Weekly Crossbar. Ellis Joshua and Coach Wink coming at you. And Coach Wink, we were just talking about yesterday's contest between West Islip and West Hampton and talking about the young gun, Mackenzie Clammer, only a
Yeah, the
seventh
move,
grader, but
the
having
move she had. I wish we were on the other sideline to get the clip, only because it would have been a better angle. So hopefully,
Mhm.
if we could get like the film from West Hampton or West Islip, it was like the crossover dribbles you see in basketball, and like the
Yeah, like
defender almost like falls down.
yeah,
It was one of those.
it's like Allen Iverson crossing up MJ.
Exactly. Very good point. That might be her new nickname. Maybe AI.
The
Maybe that's.
crossover. The crossover.
I like AI. That people could think we're talking about artificial intelligence now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I was just doing while we were waiting to go into the next one, and I'm the prospect days. You get the word out to all the people that listen to our podcast. We have on our website, all the schools can fill out a quick form, and I'm publishing them as they fill them out, just so that nobody does it. And you get to see all the different prospect days to go to certain colleges that you might be interested in, and it's all in one place. You don't have to go to their website. Right now, we have about 15 of them up, and more are coming in. As they come in, I publish them. But something for the young ladies and young men that are looking or interested in the school. I just saw Siena. I've seen Navy, Brown. There's a bunch. But if you go on the website and you go under, hold on, I'll tell you exactly where to look. I believe it just says prospect days, if my memory is correct. Let's see. On the top right, when you go to menu, click menu. Yep, prospect day events. So it's menu, prospect day events. Just click prospect day events, and you'll see a listing. Right now, we got Monmouth, Haverford, Siena, BU, Navy, Marquette, Duke, Bryant, Holy Cross, Belmont Abbey, Lafayette. I'm just reading the schools. I don't
Hmm.
know. These are great. I mean, because you might be interested in a school. Here's one in Providence, Rhode Island. That's probably, let's see if that's Bryant. I'm just clicking on them. You can click on them. You could read about it. Oh, that's Brown. So this is a Brown prospect day, and it has the gender. So if you're wondering, you could literally just click on it and register. If it fits your schedule. So I think that's really cool. I love this part of our website.
No, I think it's certainly a great tool for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, um, sorry to digress, but I was just doing it, so it made me think of it.
No, no, that's helpful information.
Sure, we want to get smarter every day, don't we?
Every day, every minute, every second.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
So we're up to the last game right now. So we're still on yesterday, and it was the big one. It was the rematch. It was Chaminade and St. Anthony's, this time over at Hofstra University for the championship. And so we had our guy Jack on site. I followed along on the stories. Thought he did a really nice job with the coverage. Also, we had Christine there as well. So stay tuned for some really awesome videos and photos from Christine. A couple of them have already been posted on the LILJ, but definitely stay tuned for more. But this one was for all the marbles, and it was St. Anthony's avenging that loss from just a few weeks ago against Chaminade. This time they flipped the script and they did it with a dominant third quarter because that game yesterday, they were down at the half. They were down 10-7 and they outscored Chaminade 6-1 in the third quarter to really turn the tide of that game. And the Friars, for the sixth straight year, they defeat Chaminade for the Catholic Championship. So shout out to St. Anthony's. for getting it done once again. And again, a great season by Chaminade for sure. Certainly nothing to hang their hats down about. But it was St. Anthony's coming out on top in yesterday's game for another championship.
I'm a little confused by how the whole structure of the parochial works. I think these are two of the best. These are two of the best teams in the country. They play a great
Well,
national schedule, and then they play twice and they split. And then one team, the winner is the
well,
one who wins the second game. Is that how it works?
well, I said that I said that yesterday. I said it. I thought that if St. Anthony's won, they should play a third time to settle the score. But
100%.
they
100%.
used to, as far as I know, from when I initially started covering games, which was now 4 years ago, initially it was you play once at each site during the season, and then the third time is for the championship. Then they changed it. Either last year was the first year or the second year. I don't remember, but then they changed it to where if the winner of the first game also wins the second game, then that's it. There is no third game.
That
Which
makes sense.
that also makes sense. But it seems like this year it was one regular season matchup. The next matchup was for the championship. Whoever won that second game wins the championship, and it ended up being St. Anthony's.
Got it. Okay.
So I feel like things are kind of changing year to year, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
the way.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate that that's the way they do that because I think the rubber match would be an awesome game because both teams are so awesome.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, ideally, I think should have had because they played at St. Anthony's the first time. Should have had a second game at Chaminade, and then if St.
Third
Anthony,
game at Hofstra.
right, if a third game was necessary, if you needed it.
How cool would it be if 9 o'clock tomorrow morning before the national semifinals, Chaminade played St. Anthony's for the parochial championship?
Yeah. Well, also too, because I thought about this because you had that game going on, and then at St. Anthony's you had the girls playing Sacred Heart. So the unfortunate situation with the scheduling, you couldn't have the girls supporting the boys
That
or
makes no
vice
sense.
versa because they were both playing.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. Just get in a room and make it work so that you could support each other.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. We go back to them having games on days that college coaches can't come recruit. It's beyond me how they're not sitting down and evaluating the calendar. You and I sit down and evaluate the calendar, and what works best to promote the kids. I don't know why they can't just figure this out. I don't know what's so difficult.
Yeah, I
And
think
don't tell me it's the venues because you don't have to do it at those venues.
yeah. I think in the case of yesterday, I think that was just a missed opportunity, but I'm sure now tomorrow you should have the St. Anthony guys over at Adelphi to support the girls against St. Dom's.
Yeah, and it's also on a night that the national stage is at Hofstra, where all the young guns that are aspiring to go play in college are going to watch
Mhm.
the college kids play. You
Yep.
got Syracuse, Cornell, Princeton, and Richmond, four
Hmm.
amazing programs. Probably, by the way, all four programs have some ties to St. Anthony's and Chaminade and other Long Island high schools because
Yes.
I know D'Agostino's going to Syracuse. I know Creo plays at Richmond.
Yep. He
I
went to
know
Chaminade, of
that.
course.
I mean, Tommy Schreiber, the best player ever to play probably in Long Island in the last whenever amount of years. Princeton kid. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I just think you should think about stuff like this because you can make everything better. You know what I mean? And it could be a cool experience, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's just,
Even a double header, even a championship double header,
dude, that'd be sick.
girl boy championship double header.
That that'd be awesome.
Yeah, just sit down and I mean, I'm sure they could have gotten one of those facilities. You could have gotten Hofstra Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday night.
Hmm.
I know they got the Nassau championships, right? The Nassau semis, but I don't know if that's even starting yet. They haven't even started their opening rounds. Just started,
Yeah, those
right?
just those just started.
I know. The whole scheduling. I don't know. Maybe they should call the guy from the NFL and find out how they do their scheduling because the scheduling of high school lacrosse is I don't understand it. It's the most confusing thing. They have the gaps. I talked to coaches. No, not one coach has ever even asked about it. They have like administrators making these decisions. Talk to the coaches. They know what's in the best interest of all the kids.
Yeah, well, we were saying this on last week's podcast. You were saying how the way the schedule's laid out right now, like it doesn't seem like any of the coaches even like the way that it's set up right now.
No, they
So,
don't. Like, why aren't you talking to the people that are doing all the work?
yeah, like if they're not even being consulted about this,
It
I feel
makes no
like
sense.
that's a problem.
It makes no sense. I mean, at the end of the day, when you put like look at the NFL, they have the Players Association, they have the owners, they meet, they talk about
Yep.
things, they try to make it what's in the best interest of all parties, not just in the
Exactly.
best interest of one side.
No, no, it's about doing what's best for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a difficult thing to do. You can have representation. I mean, there's a I know Ryan Gick from Bayport is a coach that is in charge of the Suffolk, coaches, and I know that John Calabria on the boys' side's Nassau and Des Magna's Suffolk boys. You know, you maybe just bring them into the equation. They're coaches and ask
Mhm.
them their opinion,
Yep.
and they'll get the opinion of their coaches, so that way they can do what's in the best interest of the teams.
Right.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And there's so many great venues. It's not a venue thing, especially Suffolk. I mean, we've talked about why Suffolk doesn't do what Nassau does and put the semifinals at a neutral site and give more opportunity to these kids. I mean, college coaches on Suffolk County have to go from field to field, and they're not even doing games, at different times, so they can at least drive to the other one. I mean,
Yeah.
we love it. We want double headers. Like we want the semifinals, one to be at 4:30, one to be at 7 so that we could go
Yeah,
cover both of them.
exactly. Exactly.
But whatever. Hopefully, as the media grows and they see it's important to the kids, they start figuring it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all you can hope for. But
What do you
but
got
yeah,
going on today? It looks like is that that's a good game. I mean, Melville just took one on the chin to connect. Why you going to see Northport Melville?
that's right. Going to Ward Melville Northport. They changed that start time I saw, so it went from 5 to 5:30. Um
Oh, oh my
and then
God, that's gonna.
and
Well, aren't you? But you're going to the game,
well,
and you're going to be in Northport tonight. That works out perfect for you.
oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm hanging out in Northport tonight. Watching the Nick game with one of my boys. I think Napper Tandy's is the spot. That's that's the spot we're going to tonight.
Anybody who's a Knick fan or a Yankee or Met fan, head to Nappertandy's, hang out with Ellis and his boy. What's your boy's name?
Vinny.
Vinny.
Like my cousin Vinny.
He's your cousin Vinny. So you meet it's Ellis and Joe Pesci. That would be funny. You walk in and there's Ellis at the bar with Joe Pesci. That would be the best. And then it'd be like everybody would want to take pictures with you, and they'd be like, "Who's that little guy?" Oh shit! And then Jack's going to Calhoun Mapham. That's a playoff game now.
Yeah, that's a 4-5 playoff game in the Bees
Let's
in
go.
Nassau. So Calhoun is going to be hosting Mepham in that contest.
All right. So we got a busy weekend. You got some playoff games, parochial championships, and I guess we'll see everybody. Let's see. Well, hopefully, we'll be able to do a playoff version of this next Friday morning. What do you think?
Okay, that sounds good to me. Put it on the schedule.
All right, I'm putting it in my Outlook.
All right. So that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Weekly Crossbar Podcast. This is Ellis Joshua and Coach Wink signing off. We'll talk to you all next week. And thanks for everyone that tunes in.